tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah, and nothing can stop me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies. Before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now before the moment flies.
What is up, guys? What is up, Locked In Nation? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 86. You guys are back. You're locked in with us. So this is the Locked In Podcast, guys, your home for personal development tips, sports news, music, and much, much more. On the mics tonight, as always, we're your host for the evening. I'm Steve Ushler, and joined alongside me is my friend and co-host, George Menchai. Brother, what's up, man?
It's G-Mac right here. What's up, man? Welcome back to this nice Thursday evening, folks.
Yeah, man.
We're back live.
Skies are a little dreary out there, man. Looks like some thunderstorms might be pulling on in, at least in the Philadelphia area. So, guys,
That's
stay
what it looks
dry.
like.
Yeah, stay dry,
I
guys.
hope it doesn't. Excuse me, but I hope it gets a little better out there because I got plans after this, and we'll see how everything goes. But in the meantime, man, I want to bring something nice to the table here.
So, George, I'll let you introduce the topic tonight, since this was a little thing that you kind of thought of, man. So, what are we talking about tonight, my guy? I'll answer it. I'll wait for George for a second.
We're talking about financial stuff, man. Kind of like basically, it's gonna be building relationships and fundamentals of basically networking and some formulas. That's a key sort of like topic and word.
All right, man. Yeah. So we kind of got into. Good night, guys. We're going to we'll play the intro just like a minute, but essentially what we're talking about tonight is just networking from a professional standpoint and also from a casual standpoint. So we're going to be talking about building. I want to make a disclaimer and say that we actually talked about networking. It had to have been about over a year ago at this point, so we really haven't touched on anything from a networking perspective. In about a year, but we're going to essentially talk about the formula for successful networking, whether it be in a professional setting or more of a casual setting, like if you're trying to meet like-minded people or just friends. We're going to get into that tonight. So there's going to be networking and the formulas for success when it comes to networking. Yes, sir.
So anyway, let's see.
We'll play the intro in a moment, but before we dive into it. But guys, before we do, 3 things you got to do. Number 1, if you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button, hit that thumbs up button, hit the notifications on, because we release episodes every single week, and you don't want to miss it. If you're watching on Facebook, smash the like button. If you're not already following us, follow us as well. Guys, also, if you see something you like tonight, you guys have some insight to offer, maybe you have some questions for us, drop them below in the chat, and we will answer them as quickly as we can. We like your guys' feedback. We always appreciate hearing it, because without you guys, this just simply put does not work.
Yep.
And third, guys, just sit back, have a beverage, got something to eat, and relax and enjoy the show. It's 2022, guys. Be true and be you. Focus on you, and others will too. With that being said, let's hop into the intro. See you guys on the other side.
Play the intro. Yep. See you soon.
All right, guys, as we said, for anybody that's kind of tuning in now, welcome back to the Lockman Podcast. Tonight, what we're talking about in episode 86 is networking. We're going to talk successful formula for networking, whether it be professional or also in a more casual setting if you're trying to meet like-minded people and build friends and relationships with others. Man, interesting topic, especially because of the fact that we haven't talked networking in a little over a year at this point.
Yes, sir.
Man, why don't we just get started? Kind of break down for us, ultimately what networking is. From your definition, man, just from a personal standpoint, what is networking to you?
So, to me, bro, networking would be like kind of like just interacting and sort of like to put in some kind of like basic, layman's kind of like cool terms, basically interacting with different people and various, personalities you might meet or walks of life, kinds of like scenarios, and whether it's at work, school, at a club, or at a workplace, at a more sort of like professional setting, like corporate spot, or a place that just sells, like technology. It's about sort of like interacting and trying to, build a kind of like some kind of dynamic or relationships with them, and then through that you could probably do some, again, you connect with them and some work, and you basically get to work with them. And what I mean by work is I don't just mean like working like in a job, like what I mean, like just you could go to work with clock in. No, working with them like business work, like I travel and work, I do some stuff like big moves, power moves. We're talking about power moves. You're not just working 9 to 5 in this case, but obviously everything starts with 9 to 5, and we cover that as well, and that's kind of like what we're talking about, and we're doing even at the moment. A lot of us kind of work that kind of stuff, but to network basically means that like even at 9 to 5, you meet people from different walks of life. You build, some people you become good friends with, some become associates, and there's a difference, and we'll get to that as well. And some people are just more like business type of associates, just only, or some people are just mostly like acquaintances, and then you got friends, acquaintances, and associates or business associates, which is obviously something ties you up, in regards to that. So,
Good
what about you, bro?
From my standpoint, from my standpoint, just in a very, very basic term, I would say that networking to me is interacting with others and exchanging information with the intent of building a professional or social relationship. I know that kind of sounds like a definition, but to me, that's kind of simply put what it is. You're interacting with other people. You're both bringing something to the table and exchanging information in the hopes of building either a professional in business type of relationship or a social relationship, whether it be friends or like-minded individuals. There's things like meetup.com where you can meet people that have similar interests to you. Give you an example. Say you're a coder and you develop and you code software and you want to meet other people in the Philadelphia area that do that. There's a website called meetup.com where you can meet up. Say like you do something like you do, George, where you do mixed martial arts and you want to meet other people that do the same thing. You can go on meetup.com and find people in the Philadelphia area who do the same. Meet up with people, spar, get to know someone. It's great for
Correct.
social interactions. But basically, that is my definition of how I would phrase it. Um, yeah. But networking's important, man. Why don't we just
Yeah.
hop into the formulas here, man, and not waste too much time? Realistically, what's one of your key steps in a formula to building, let's say, a professional networking relationship in business?
So I'll go. I'll kind of like mention that as well, bro. Like we just talked about, it, and I'll give you the different. I mean, what one of my formulas is, and I'll also kind of mention a couple. Then you can do the same, and you can take it from there. Okay. So basically, one of the formulas that I have is when I meet somebody, it's obviously how you talk. You interact with them through like if you see them more than once, through or if they only have one night, it's going to be different. If it's just one of those nights, you just try to get information. Like okay, exchange information real quick, and then that's it. And all right, bye, goodbye, whatever. What happens after today is you probably would try to like hit this person up, or he might hit you up as well, or follow up, which is called like a follow up, like maybe like a text or a call. Once you talk to them, then you set up something like where you're trying to meet up and get something done. If it's something where that really interests you, then or interests that person, and you guys come together, sort of like again to build a kind of like business, possibly relationship. Then that's what you do. You probably reach out to them, and the third step would be to try to set up something like maybe like an appointment eventually, and and then discuss a few things. And in this way, you already kind of like spoke to the person. You kind of like if you met them already, you know them from a couple times. You already build that. That's sort of like the foundation, sort of like of getting to know them. Okay, your name is such and such. We'll just use a name, just a common name. Your name is Tom. You do this. You own this company. You work for this Fortune 500 company. All that. It's nice and good and all that good stuff. The flash shit, right? Then now you got his number. You got your number, and then he knows that, for example, you work at a big restaurant, and and you do the reservations department. So he always calls you now. So now you guys got something in common. Then you hit him up. You talk to him one time, and then he comes in again. You develop a little more of a slowly, like a acquaintanceship, if you will. And eventually, if once you get his number and all that, then that's when you set something up where you can go forward and you can see, like our buddy, James once said that like it's who you know, but also who knows you and what you can, do with that as well. He follow up. You can have connections and big plugs and people but if you're not really networking and doing anything, So
yeah, that's a great point.
Right. And then one more thing real quick before I let you go. Basically you do this, bro, and that's what you do. Like, you get to know them and all that. You set up an appointment to meet up, and the first time is more like or less like just to kind of discuss a few things and maybe hang out with that person, see where they're at as well, little because you got to do a lot of things, in your own mind and be clear what you're doing and have kind of like an idea. You know what I mean? You want to do business with people like the like-minded, which is key to get to know them a little and go out and talk on the phone one time and ask a few questions. They probably ask you. You don't do too much talking. You don't do more like just kind of like you just see how it goes and you kind of feel out the process a little bit too. But that's going in another direction too. But it's got to do with like honestly how people interact. Where you see yourself as, how you see them as, how they view you, how close you get, and a lot of other things. But yeah, man. So what were you saying?
No, I was saying great points. If I had to drop something in there, I would say if you're for anybody who's watching today, if you could take anything away from I will start with early points, like the process when you're getting started. But if you're going to take anything away from this conversation tonight, I would realistically tell you what you want to do is make sure that you're offering value. I see so many times, especially with people who are very successful, a lot of people tend to try to network with somebody because of how successful they are, right? And it's a great strategy. You want to be surrounded by people who are successful.
Exactly.
But the thing about it is like, why would somebody want to build a professional relationship with you if you have nothing to offer them? So a networking is also a mutual exchange of information and a mutual exchange of value. And if you in a professional setting have nothing to offer the other person who already is successful at that point, that person has already built their success. They're continuously probably grinding to gain more and more success. But look, like if somebody's already at a certain status, if somebody's already at a certain level, they don't need you for realistically anything at that point. Like what are you going to
Right.
pitch? What are you going to pitch them to offer
That's true.
value? You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't just try to
Yeah.
take from people. Try to offer value, and when you do that, um, the people will recognize that. See if they have an issue, and what can you solve? What can you bring to the table? What type of perspective can you offer them that maybe they're not looking at? Always think that way. This is a little off the record, but 50
Hmm.
Cent 50 Cent once said that, when he became successful, a lot of people that he knew growing up, they wanted to get kind of put on to his label and everything like that. And he's just like, more people would reach out to him in a message asking, "Hey, can you hook me up?" instead of saying like, "This is what I can offer you." And he's just
Yeah.
like, maybe if they would have offered some type of value, I would have worked with them. But
Correct.
look, if you're just over here just trying to be put on because now I'm successful, I'm not going to speak to you if you want to try that. I'm not going to speak to you. I'm not even going to entertain you. So realistically, you have to offer value. Stop, like people out there, stop asking for handout. If that's something you do, make a note of it and change your actions, change your blueprint. Because look, that's not going to work if you're trying to be successful in networking. Now, two of the biggest things I would say when you start out with networking is you want to present yourself very well. I think that's pretty obvious, and you want to prepare. If you're meeting with someone in a professional setting, make sure that you schedule the appointment ahead of time. Make sure you dress for success, dress for the occasion. Make sure you're prepared with if you're looking for a job with resume. Make sure that your clothes are you're looking sharp, you're looking professional. Make sure you carry yourself well. Make sure you're being articulate. All articulate realistically means is that you're speaking clearly and concisely. Make sure that your body language is on point. Make sure you're not slouching. Make sure that your walk is on point. You're standing up straight.
Hmm. Yeah,
Make
very
sure you
important details.
want an appearance. You want to look good from an appearance standpoint. You also want to sound good, and you want to be prepared. Proofread your resume. Make sure everything's on point. And also, guys, it's 2022. Business cards on the paper side are eventually going to be a thing of the past. I actually have something. It's called a doc card. It's DOT. It's an electronic business card. It's $20. Like realistically, there's other brands out there as well, but you can realistically utilize this in this day and age for networking. Actually, not just in professional, but if you're trying to build friends, you can put your social media handles on there as well, which I've done. What you realistically want to do with these cards is it's easy. You tag on your phone once you get the card, you connect all your social media and all your professional accounts to it, and then the person scans a QR code and all of your tags come up. It's a lot easier than a business card. It's $20 flat fee. And um yeah, there's no annual fee, there's no monthly fee. I'm not a
Yeah.
I'm literally not an advertiser. I'm not getting paid by the company, but there's a lot of different electronic business cards out there, guys. Take advantage of one. Uh,
Right. I seen those through the virtual cards, bro, and the business ones too. I actually have old cards, but they're really, like I said, it's a thing of the past because you can make cards for like $10. You can actually make like a nice. You go to some website and you can print out cards, but the ones on the electronic ones are coming in handy.
yeah,
There's
it's
so
one
much you can do
card.
everywhere.
It's not. So here's the thing, like you don't want a bulky pocket. You know what I mean? You're carrying
Yeah,
around all these business cards.
exactly.
Number one,
It
it's
looks kind of
heavier.
suspect. It looks like he has a lot of money and you're a target too.
I mean, number one, it's heavier. Why carry
Heavy.
around all that
It
bulk
looks
when you can have
bad.
one single card that can be scanned? I mean, it's
Correct.
just
Yeah.
let's be realistic. And the other one was I said, I put them together. I was like, you want to obviously present yourself well and you want to prepare. So I'm like, but with the business card game, like I said, it's 2022. We're moving to a digital realm at this point. On the electronic side of it, it's so much easier just to have an electronic business card at this point. Like, why carry around a bunch of bulky cards? It's a lot easier. And the person isn't going to lose it either. You know what I mean? Somebody could have your business card, they could lose the card. Look, like if you have an electronic business card, it's scanned. They can bookmark it right to their phone. It's a lot easier. Realistically, they're not going to lose your information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It gives them access to your social media automatically. Everything's like right there. So, whether you're building friends or professional connections, it's a great tool. And like I said, if you're gonna go on a casual connection, you're just trying to build like-minded friendships and stuff like that,
I think it's
meetup.com.
important. Yeah.
Meetup.com is a great resource. Um, like I said, you're in MMA, right? You're mixed martial arts. You can
Yeah.
find people that similarly do that as well. On meetup.com, you can meet them in the Philadelphia area. It's perfect. Like you can meet them, Center City, somewhere close, and you can build a connection with that person. You can do like people that have similar hobbies. It's perfect.
I think it's a good point you made, bro. And I also believe that basically, if you have a card with you and you have like a resume like online, I mean, obviously, you have your phone because on IG and all that, you can have like something like there. But the virtual wallet is a good thing, virtual cards, and also just having the business cards is still. I mean, it's not just yet a thing of the past, but it's definitely they're kind of giving that way. I mean, it's still got a lot of the old stuff, but everything's so new technology. Most stuff, it's a VCRs. DVDs are becoming old now. It's almost like they're extinct, but they're not. But they're kind of like old to find, so hard to find. So now it's about kind of like you having the LinkedIn kind of like match to what you're doing as well. LinkedIn is another one that we haven't even covered yet. That it's actually here. One of the steps here that I have one of the formulas is actually to and it's kind of I'm glad we kind of got into it right away. It kind of flows so naturally, but LinkedIn is the important one. Is a major one. LinkedIn and yeah, you have like what do you call it? What's that one called? Not career builder. That one too. Even though it's a little old, but
Link, LinkedIn is important, but you got to utilize it correctly. A lot
you
of
got to
people
use it
just create a
correctly.
link
Yeah.
and just let it sit there. I mean, it
There's
doesn't
nothing
matter
to
if you're
do.
not. You get messages from people. You want to build a solid foundation, connections with people that at least that interest you. You don't have to answer every single person to send you a message, but um, you want to strategically network with people, not just float mindlessly.
Yeah, you want to strategically give the right people connect, and then kind of like ask some questions, try to apply to jobs and all like that. Even Indeed stuff like that. It's good to like have your resume ready and try to like even go to jobs to kind of network and find other jobs through these jobs. Sometimes jobs are just stepping stones. So it's so much that goes on there, the dynamics and the way the things that operate in the world. And I've been there first. I know you have too at some point. Me, you, and Marius have been there, and other people. So it's very interesting, bro. Very very good points you made. They're very intriguing as well. Another thing is so some again since we're on this topic and we'll move on to the next sort of like part of the discussion. Talking points. We're talking about formulas. So other formulas, like you said, like are the connecting strategically, doing the right networking, talking just enough where you could text a person a little bit and you make a phone call. Okay, let's get tomorrow. Okay, cool. Make a phone call, very professional and on time. A timely matter could be very, also very essential and helpful. These kind of things, and you can help, connect the right people. Next thing you know, something could come up. I mean, you never know where like these things take you. And networking could go in any field, in any walk of life, not just in a professional, more like entrepreneur type of mindset and setting, and in this kind of like in these kind of like dynamics.
Yeah, one of the other things I was going to say, you brought up LinkedIn, which is actually a really good point. Utilize your online presence effectively, and also be very aware of your online presence because in this day and age, people can find anything on the internet about you. So be very careful what you post, especially if you're trying to, have a professional career or whatever it is. Be very mindful of your online presence and also utilize it correctly. Making connections can be an effective networking strategy, right? LinkedIn, Twitter, blogs. Even today, one of the ways I want to say is TikTok. TikTok is a big one. I was
Yeah,
actually just on
TikTok
a
is
call.
huge.
I was just on a call with a friend, and I would say, potential business partner. He's a good friend of mine. I went to high school with the guy. He's actually been on here before. We were actually talking about TikTok and how it's become like a huge marketing platform at this point. This is actually something we want to use at the podcast. Although I will say I do see eventually like TikTok kind of winding down and being on it. It's not going away, but it's becoming saturated at this point. But it's still a very, very effective marketing tool in the online sphere. But yeah,
It
like I said,
definitely is.
Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, blogs, and plenty of other social media
TikTok's
sites.
becoming very good, bro. And honestly, I've was kind of sleeping on TikTok in the last like 2 years, and it got really popular in the last like 2.5 years now, kind of like with the whole COVID invasion. But even before, they was getting some traction. But honestly, more recently, I've been more involved with the whole TikTok, and I mean, I'm probably going to do something. Maybe I'll do an account, but I probably won't go too much. But I just want to see like some of the stuff. You can learn stuff. It's like between a crossover of IG and like YouTube in some ways, but it's like you can see videos and instructionals. There's kid blogs, older people that act like kids sometimes. It's funny, cool, but also useful at the same time. And there's all kinds of like things you can watch. People trying out different things. They show you stuff, blogs, people learning things, funny videos, bizarre stuff. People got talent, young kids doing things. So it's actually pretty. I would recommend it. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's like it's a waste of time. Like that. I think it's a good thing to watch. Nice little app. People should check it out.
Yeah. I would say, being active on these sites. I know a lot of times, we bash social media on this platform. I don't want to say actually use the word bash. There's obviously a lot of negative side effects, but there's also a lot of positive side effects too. Staying active on media can keep you up to date with trends, in your field, in your network. So you're on top of the information. Say you work in business
You're
or
top of the
finance,
food chain, yeah. No,
investments.
social media got its purpose too. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. So whatever your field is. Another thing is, you want to do your homework, right? I mean, that sounds like a very bland step, but one thing I will tell you is that do your homework before you meet with somebody. Take a look if they're a very big higher up inside of a professional organization. You can find them on a website. Like say you're looking at a bank or somewhere, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a bank. Find out who you're going to be talking to. Find out a little bit about them. You can find things on the internet. You'd be surprised what you can find. Preparing in advance is going to help you ask more intelligent questions overall. Just about the person, the work environment, not just with work, but just, building in like a professional connection with that person. You can understand them a little bit more just before meeting, and maybe understand that obviously you want to understand the field that you're trying to build this connection in. It's going to help you to conduct a conversation in a comfortable manner and just show you're interested and you're confident. Plain and simple, and that you have value to offer as well.
Yeah. I think it goes both ways,
100%. And my last 2 points is just to one, you want to stay in touch with your network, and you want to just even after building a couple connections, continue to network. You might be in a field, but you can always build connections with people. You know what I mean? There's no such things as too many connections. So continue to network. Continue.
I agree with that one.
Yeah, continue to evolve, continue to build, continue to grow, and let's develop. That's one of the whole points of this platform. But you want to continue to push that. You want to continue to keep that right here.
I agree, bro. I agree, and that's what that's kind of also like what I think. Like you need to continue to. It's all about consistency. So you got to continue to try to like maintain some relationships and become cool with certain people. And again, that's how you become. Again, you meet the right people in life, and you in a circle of winners and all that. That's how you become an entrepreneur and a millionaire, and you change your own life sometimes just by learning from others around you. Bro. It can happen. It has happened. Happens often. It's like a movie almost. It's like kind of like the beginning of the movie, like in Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, obviously before all the scams and all that, he was kind of like young in the game and working in Wall Street and all that. Like it's like you are in a place like that. You're in the right place in the right field. Get a good job, make good money, and then you invest and start your own business. You don't got to work for the company anymore. You sell that stuff. You let it go. And that's kind of like where connections and networking all takes place. Now, they call social media social network because that's what it's there for. And the first thing you meet somebody, what you might do, you might give information, a number. Nobody gives a number these days because depending on certain things, because of conflict of interest and other stuff that happen, like occurrences in life, and also, and because of how things are, how again with the state of the world a little bit and all that. I mean, it's hard. Like sometimes you don't want to give a dude's phone number, or a girl doesn't give a guy her number, and vice versa. Sometimes guys don't give their numbers to girls neither. They want to be more private. But again, like a LinkedIn or a Facebook or the professional networks, you might be able to do that, and it works so different. Like even IG, what's IG? I got you. You talk on IG now. If you follow up through, it's on you and you guys, But once you exchange that with somebody out there, you know what I mean. Now you kind of like becoming part of kind of like one a little bit, Like you guys are like doing some network. You might be talking, and who knows? Maybe like that's like you meet this person in the network. You guys might share the same dream, and that's how start sometimes. Like, that's how friendships, and bonds are forged through alliances. Sometimes it's more like a the kind of friendship, like a partnership more than anything, like a business thing. You guys see each other, but you don't see this dude. You don't hang out all the time. You're not like friends and buddies. And sometimes you're buddy. It all depends.
Exactly.
Like Wolf of Wall Street was buddy with Jonah Hill.
Yeah, and he didn't think you would be at the beginning, right? It's weird how that works out, man. What do you have any like big success stories when it comes to networking?
I'm sorry, you lost you for a second. Say it again, man.
I said, do you have any big success stories when it comes to networking?
Yeah, I do actually. I could tell you one right now. Actually, dude. I got my job at PPH networking at the gym. I met this lady. They used to work at the department. What do they call it? The HR department, and she also has some connections to other jobs too. And I also found out that I think her either her husband or her fiance, he's like he has some kind of like car service, that type of business, and he also does some Lyft. But yeah, she got me a job at PPH, and I was there for almost 9 years. I was there 8.5 years. So that was I mean, off the rip, that's a story right there I could tell you. I was just cool with her. She was like, telling me like, what are you doing? I was like, at one point I wasn't working. I was working in a restaurant, but I just left. And she's like, yeah, I see you at the gym. You working? I was like, no. She's like, you could try work without, get a job where I work. I was like, what do you do? She's like, I'm the HR lady. And I wasn't sure what it meant at the time. So I was like, so you help with the hiring? She's like, no, I do the hiring. She said, I don't just help, I do it. I was like, I'm the main person. She's like, yeah, come in for an interview. I went in and that's how I started, bro. The rest is like history, like they say. I got the job there. I was there for a while I was going to school and I had other jobs. And then, and I started in like the beginning of '09. So this is like in the end of 2008, going into 2009.
That's awesome, man.
Um,
Interesting stories
there's
like
another one is this guy that I'm cool with now. Became cool. Like I met him about a year ago, close to a year ago at the club, and it was like one of those things like kind of like a friendship from like a acquaintanceship. We're cool. This and that. We're friends, but he's really cool, and became like closer lately. And we're more like again, it's like a networking thing. So we're just kind of like we network a little and do some entertain ideas of business and all that, and we do stuff like that. We kind of like we talk about possibly working together a little with some traveling. He's one of those guys. He's like an investor. He used to go to California too and invest in the whole pancreas thing, which is a whole other conversation that I haven't really mentioned it too much. But that's something different now. We're talking about movie stars now. People are doing documentaries. That some of those guys are doing. I mean,
exactly.
I told you already.
So,
Eric is the son of a Hollywood guy, bro. I think his father's name is he goes by John Green or something like that. But he was in
really?
yeah, he's a big time actor. He was in the movie with De Niro. What's the movie called? The Deer Hunter. That's his father. Yeah. I looked it up. He's born in 1949. He makes sense. I was like, oh damn, he's an actor. I forgot his name, but they don't have the same last name. But yeah, that's his father.
It's interesting, man.
It's like he's an actor too, but it's funny. That's what he did. That's what Eric did. He was an actor, MMA fighter, kind of pancreas guy. Now he owns a trademark, to pancreas cyber wrestling. So my man Eric H. He's in Cali. He's a Jersey guy, but from Cali, He's another one. He knew Ray Liotta in real life. He'd met him a couple times instead of the fellas and everything in Jersey. He said he cut his hair one time, and he's like, he knew Ray Liotta is a great guy. So that's why, because he put rest in peace on Facebook and on another, I think some site that he runs or something like that. A lot of people were mourning Ray Liotta. That was a big, loss. So obviously, rest in peace, But
yeah, it's obviously sad.
yeah, man. So basically, to go back to like what we're just saying, like the core of everything. I met like some investors like that, and like big time guys through networking, and it's been so easy lately because all you gotta do is just like show a cool personality, a cool mentality. Just talk to them, chit chat a little bit, chop it up, and then eventually with some guys become more cool. Some you just like you keep to a certain level, like we're not reaching, not really that cool. Some become more cool with. Some you're like kind of like almost like friends with, and some you're like more like an acquaintance. So I just happen to be friends with these guys. They make good money. They're really like big time heavy hitters and big ballers and all that, spenders and all that. What else? What's understood doesn't need to be explained. And basically that's like I'm saying. That's how I met some of these guys, and that's what I'm at right now. Trying to network with some of these guys and guys like that. But there's a couple like dudes I met there like that. Also got my other job through a friend. His sister was the lady who did the networking and connecting. She would like set you up with a job and all. The lady named Nicole. She's a really good lady. She does I forgot the company. I think it was called First Pro at one point, but it's something else now. I think she left that place. So it was a tape agency, and I worked there. And then I got the job at Stormore, and I was there for like 6 months. Another job too after that too. Like I was doing a couple gigs, like corporate world. And I remember I was working at Stormore, like right after I graduated, like a year after I graduated.
Yeah, and was TD through a connection too?
TD was just actually applying, believe it or not, bro. That's how I started. You know what I mean? That was like I was gonna ask you about the bank as well. Actually, I'll wait until after this. But yeah, TD was actually me and Maris. Like the one stop we just applied after we did the vacation, the house, the 5 day at the beach house. We just went out and we're just like, what I mean? We're like, all right, well, let's just apply. And we applied a lot, and that's how I started. So I got TD at that point. But I mean, I will say one thing: that the more you apply, the better, because one job is bound to call you back. So.
Yeah. Make sure you're strategically applying. Targeting your cover letters, targeting your resumes. Obviously, I think your current job though, you had a connection, right? Was it Cozy? They got you. There was
yeah. Current job, yep. He knew like a lot of the guys. He has a connection with a lot of bars and clubs in the whole downtown area over there, down the scene. And he actually met the guy like right before the day of my birthday I was telling you about. the picture posted recently, his birthday from 2 weeks ago, 1 day ago. He met a guy a couple nights before that, and he's a DJ at a club, and he was just there like recently. He said I could hear it was like vibrating, like it was loud as shit. He sounded like dude, like I don't know what he was at. Sounds like house music or something. I couldn't tell what it was, but it was a popping place though. There's another spot too. There's a couple nice clubs in the area. Even South Philly, but unfortunately with the whole situation that shooting happened more recently, it's been a little tough lately. They've been closing everything. The cops have been there, bro. So the whole night scene has been a little tough there. But I mean, the whole industry is crazy too. But the whole night scene, nightlife industry, bro. I mean, it's its own puzzle altogether. For to use other terms, like better terms, but it's its own thing. Its own entity. Its own. You gotta recognize it. I mean, it's no joke.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
what about you, bro? Yeah, what about you, bro? How about I want to kind of like ask you the question now. Has there been a time you've networked and you really like the network really helped and really like it took you to like the next stage and you got something really good out of it? Even if it wasn't a job, if it was just another connection or just opportunities, or you happen to be put in a place by default that you're just there, like like maybe you attended a big event or you just traveled or a brunch or anything like that. I mean, anything I'll share.
So from a job standpoint, I've kind of just done a lot of the work on my back end, and kind of made it happen for a lot of interviews and stuff by just targeting my cover letters and resumes. One thing I will tell you though is that I've met people in the professional world through networking, through other people and stuff like that. I always think that that's a beautiful thing when you can like meet people through professional people. It's I've met people from personal standpoints, from side hustles to different things, and then met people in college who I connected with later, who jumped on a business opportunity with. It's it's all about building and expanding, and I've met some great people along the way. From a job standpoint, I've kind of done it all on my own, but I have connected people to the companies that I've worked for. So you see what I'm saying? Like I connected people
from your job, you like so you can be able to connect. And because you're new, like nice little the new gig you're doing, the credit thing,
Yeah.
and obviously because your job as well. You told me one time you did an interview for your job. That's what I was saying. Like maybe through your job you'd be able to kind of like give people, like a chance to try, like help with the hiring process or connect people or whatever. I'm just
it's a whole process. I would say that connecting other people, like when I work with people, I pride myself on my name. So my reputation, I pride myself on my reputation. So I really I'm not going to connect somebody to somebody if I don't think the person is taking whatever it is seriously, because I know people that will try to build connections or make connections with people that I know. I'm not introducing you if you're not serious about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like I pride myself on my reputation, and I know people like in the past, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but who have like asked me, to refer them to a job or a company that I work for at the time, like not for another company, but for the company one of the companies I work for. I'm not going to refer you if I realistically don't think you're going to put in the work, especially in the professional sense. So like, we could be friends, but like, let's be real. Some friends that slack and everything. You have to show me that you're going to put in the work and you're going to have the work ethic. It's not being a dick. It's just because if you come to the company I work for and you don't work, it's going to look bad on me. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. So
that's just how it is. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, bro, it's also kind of like a give do. So there's so much you can do. And I'm glad you kind of brought that up earlier, the whole 50-cent quote from the book or whatever, because it's true that people always come up to you like, yo, hook me up. They want something instead of trying to earn it a little bit, and kind of like it's because they know you or give me, it's like it's given to me already. But I mean, it's got to be earned too. It's not just given, or just taken. It's earned. I mean, people do what they do, but at the same time, you got to be a little bit. It takes two to the tango. People want to work with somebody, or they want to work and get a crew and use them to get what they want to be. But what are they gonna give you back? And not only that, but sometimes even in 50 Cent's case, people have done that and then decide what your ops and your enemies and all that. And in 50's case, that's a lot of good scenarios and some good examples of that. But I'm just saying that like at the end of the day, if we're networking, it takes two to network, and you got to do something, be able to provide something. There's nothing we can provide. I mean, and even if you don't got money, there's still other things you can do. I mean, loyalty is priceless. I mean, really, it's like it's free basically. If you're loyal, if you're not loyal, you're not loyal. Some people just want that, you know what I mean? And these kind of things. So he thinks a lot of things. It's also about not burning bridges. It's a whole other topic. Honestly, bro, we came up with this topic. Like I never thought about it, but it's gonna be a really long topic too. So it's good that we kind of dissected a couple of things because I mean it can be very broad. So you know, so it's just more about formulas and the ways to do it, but it all ties in and everything can apply that we just kind of mentioned. You made some good points earlier too. So
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
yeah.
Yes,
Sir.
how about from a casual perspective? Do you have any like formulas for success for network? You know, from a casual like trying to build friends.
From a casual perspective, like building friends, like you said, when you use like a network and just kind of like build some friendships, like have some friends. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good point too. It's a good question and a good point as well. That's I would say it's more like again, we're talking about ways to networks that we're kind of meaning overall, but obviously we're talking about like from a professional standpoint, but also from like a standpoint of like yeah, it's a professional thing, it's a business thing. We can also be friends, like a little bit of both. You know what I mean? That like it's kind of similar. You kind of get to know them, but if it's more about it from a friendship type of thing, I would say at that point it's more about vibing. You just kind of like vibe how you guys feel. You know, if you guys are cool, you can go ahead and go a little possibly have similar, you know, ideas. If it's like you know, and a guy maybe I don't know, you guys have like similar tasting women or something like that, or similar, you know what I mean, way of thinking, kind of both. Also like a very similar, so like music taste or tasting cars as well, because you know guys like cars, you know, like music, you know, women and you know going out and all that expensive stuff. Maybe like on a consultant type of you know image type of thing. There's like something like you know the person does this, you do something else, and you're like an athlete or a skater. And you were a house, they tell you, what is kind of house? I put you on, he just puts you on, and then boom, like it's all it is, but it's connections. I think networking can help you exchange, like you said, exchange information, but also you can help better each other through networking. Especially when the network at this point is like a friendship. Now you can still be friends, and you are friends, and we still network to these days, like a network. Like this is kind of like a network right now. So it all depends on like how you see it, and you know, again, like what are you doing with it, and how close you are with the guy too, a little bit too. You know what I mean? Like I said, you don't have to be extremely close, but you can still network and do business from more distance type of view, you know, distance relationship and viewpoint, or from an arm's reach, and again, a little bit from a distance, or from more like from a friend's point of view and close, like we're friends, we hang out. Maybe we don't got as much, but we're still friends because I mean, you moved away. Like I know we both have friends that live in other cities, so
Of course.
that's nothing new.
Of course, man.
Put some of these ice in here, man. I got a little injured training and stuff like that. Right, I got to put some of these ice in here.
That's
See,
funny.
that was funny. Yeah, it's funny, right? Holding my arm and shit. It hurts a lot. I don't know. I feel stiff. I mean, I feel like a stiff arm. I actually lifted after this happened. It still kind of started hurting. So I'm like, let me just hold on. I took a day off from the gym, but today I'm going back, so I don't give a shit. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't stop. The ground don't stop. You know how that is. So
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it's all good points, man. All good points.
yeah. And what about you, bro? Any like idea? I mean, anytime sort of like network just to kind of like get new friends and all that. Because I mean, like I would say that like that's always there. I mean, I always say like I'll be saying, and I'll be known to say no new friends, but it's just more for talking for show. Doesn't mean that I'm always trying to like have only friends because to have my friendship it takes a while to get to know that. But there's some people you can kind of be friends because you see it and you also have really like minded and you get something to offer, you got something to offer, anything you kind of connect. You guys are just brought together by fate. So I made a lot of friends last year that I didn't think I would have made, and I possibly would have made, but it took me longer. But because of the way the things are with the dynamics, things where I made my life with the fighting thing, the martial arts, the MMA, the competing, pancrase, again, investors, trying to save money, funds, looking for loans and all, paying loans. A lot of things took me to different places and opportunities, and I've seen a lot of things. And again, when you're connecting with people, not just networking but connecting, you meet people, and you are going to become friends. If you have a good attitude and a good personality, you might connect with them. And fighting is the same way. In MMA, the same thing. You connect, you train with people, you work with them, and then you work, you spar, and you become friends. A lot of times that's how it is. It's a very different sport. I mean, it's a lonely sport, but it can be a very good sport too. And MMA is, and a violent sport. But I mean, that's the thing.
Exactly. It's a whole other thing.
There are bonds. There are friendships.
Exactly.
So
It's a great way to build.
yeah.
Also, just try to don't present too many negative qualities about yourself. Realistically, you know what I mean. Don't be gossiping to people.
Yeah, don't do like and if you have any kind of habits like that, try to think do different because in professional setting you want to be the best you can be, and you want to start to be that as a real person too. So I mean, you don't want to just be stuck on one thing too much, like I always got to do this or get too comfortable and all that. But it all takes time, and then with people, I mean, when you get to know people, you get to know friends. There's other times you try to help better each other and build each other up. It's okay to point the negatives, but you're not going to point too much. At the same time, you also want to you can criticize your friend, but you're not supposed to put him down. It's a difference. I mean, that's a conversation. Some people want to hear that, about those kind of conversations, those topics. I know that you guys out there watching right now know that, a lot of you guys, that's what you guys want to do. So, I mean, and we have something for that as well. I mean, we have all kinds of topics to cover. But another thing with professional relationships, man, and building professional relationships is that you want to be professional as much as you can. And as they get to know you, they accept you for you are. And that's how the friendship comes from a professional relationship to a friendship. It takes, like, it's kind of earned. The more natural ones, the best ones, if you notice, even in, like, if you become, like, long life friends after, starting movies or working together, it takes time. It comes from, like, a professional relationship to, like, a friendship. And, him, and then next thing you know, the person can become your mentor, your friend. We had been in situations like that, so both of us have, I guess, seen that or experienced that. So that's why we're kind of qualified to talk about that. But that's how it is. I meet people there at the club all the time, even professional people, like, you know what I mean? Like, people that, like, own clubs or in the industry. And I just show myself at the end of the day, I don't really feel like I need too many people, but I'm just networking and just, being smart about it, and just working, it's different. Sometimes you got to work, sometimes you become really cool with them. So, but to keep up relationships, like you say, you got to be consistent and you got to present something, you got to stay sharp and good, good at what you do, because people like you for you are, if they really want to do networking with you or for you, and if they want to be real, so if you do what you got to do, if you don't stay, like, too caught up and I got to do this and that, if you overthink too much about meeting new people, many getting plugs when you haven't really solidified the ones you already met and locked in certain connections, it can also be problematic. So, because I've seen how people operate, and there's so much going on, dude. Again, with the whole rough and double promotion, I've seen the Dan's working on with Eric and those guys, the guys that are fighting on the roster. Like, I'm supposed to be fighting in July, but there's also guys that come in and drop at the card. I mean, Elijah, for example, if this was a fight, he might not be fighting now. So it's like, it's a lot going on, bro. And that's the thing, it's all about keeping everything in order, and there's so much going on. I mean, like, for example, to set up a show, you got to head up the commission and pay up front and get the venue. And there's so many, like, there's a lot of bureaucracies, bro. A lot of, like, just small things that in the process or the dynamics and of the, the many factors.
How you go about it. Yeah, exactly.
To go about it, or to consider. Like, think about this. Say me and you are VP chairmen and all. We're setting up like a big event, like a boxing or bare knuckle boxing event or some kind of wrestling event. We gotta do so much, and there's gonna be so many inconsistencies and things that come and go. I mean, look at it's hard to do a podcast and see something, So it's like there's so much you gotta put in, dude. And the process sometimes can be really cool to watch and fascinating. Sometimes it's a joy to watch it or to be part of it, even like I've been a little bit part of it. But I mean, set up an event. I mean, just pin up the ring, pick up a piece of the ring and put it together, and or a ropeless ring for one of those pro wrestling events in LA when I went to LA back in October in the fall. Like, it's just so much that goes in it. I'm like, wow, it's, and out there in LA, it's kind of like if you can make it in New York and LA, at least these two big cities in America, all those other cities too, but these are the two big ones, even in Philly, but mostly in New York and LA, if you can make it those two places, you can make it anywhere. LA is Hollywood. You can get your star in Hollywood Walk of Fame, and then New York is like the mecca too, especially for the East Coast. So it's like, it's kind of like two lucky locations, Miami is good too. I mean, Vegas is a good place to network and meet people, as far as locations and all that. But LA, bro, New York, I mean, it's getting, when I went out there, I was networking, but it's the thing. You get IG and you got to try to keep up with the people and actually, DM them, get their number. It's all process, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. We could be sitting here for a long time and, talk about this for a while, but it's a lot of things that go in. Yeah, so let me see. We're doing good on time. We got a lot of time still, and we'll be doing good so far. Like,
yeah. We'll probably just keep it to an hour. So we got like 10 more minutes. Keep it to an hour. It's not exactly. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, drop them down below. But yeah, that's it. It's actually some really good points, man. When you say, is there like a big difference, would you say, in your formulas and your strategies when you're connecting with, casual relationships with friends or in professional? Would you say there's a big difference, or would you say there's like fundamental principles that kind of apply to both?
I would say there's a little bit of difference, but not a big difference. Definitely not a big difference. A smaller difference, but fundamental like factors and depth, and what I mean, like you said, like it's just some fundamental steps. Like for the people that are professional, you might call them and set something up, or try to, or sometimes I just want to hit you up and maybe go out for a drink and all. Yeah, I'm okay. That sounds good. Some guys are really friendly. They're cool, so they'll do that. But then if you just try to become more like a friend, and it also depends on the age factor, because you have to realize age bracket has a lot to do with it too. You can't call guys a little older and expect them to like do something to you. You might do a guy who's around like in your 20s or 30s, and if you're 30 or over 30, like I'm 34 now, so it's like I'm at a certain age where I can have guys like in their late 30s, 40s, but It's one thing when you're like in your 20s, even your 30s, or even like late 30s to an extent. But guys in like in their 40s, mid 40s, guys are close to 50. It's a different. They're out there, they're doing finances, they're doing videos, trying to make money, they're trying to make quick money. Some are going to casinos. You might call one of them and play fucking what do you call the crabs or roll dice or play pool or pool or what is little Albanian mafia spots and all that, or Italian spots too. Like, or you might want to like just play some domino, but at the same time, you're doing it to kind of kill time, but you're also trying to figure something out. You're networking, and that's how you do it sometimes. Sometimes there'll be places like that, and sometimes it might be like at a bar, just having a drink. You know what I mean? Just do it up.
Exactly, just as simple as that.
Right, and then just kind of just keep it simple. You know what I mean? Like just a drink, and again, and I know you've been there because I mean, even like me and you, like I've been there. My one friend Chris is kind of like a kind of like influencer. He does some consulting and all that as well. He's consulting, some real estate. He's kind of a mentor of mine. I met up with him before, and we had a drink and talked about it. Like even just a pot of coffee, like at a Starbucks. I know you and James have done, and me and Manny have met up like that and discussed things. Me and this guy from the club that comes there, named John. So he works like as a chef somewhere. We always have like meetings that we meet up, and we just trying to sort of like we were bonding. We're really cool. They already told me I'm their boy. Yeah, because they all like me, and they all call me, yo, George, you the man. And plus I look out in the club, and they look out for me too. And we became pretty close. Me and some of these guys that come there, and some of the guys are regulars, or they're not even regulars. They're more like guys that like they're cool with the we call them on the house because they're cool with the club, with the house. We all know them, the manager, the owners. Like they come there all the time. They might not be regulars or everyday guys, because some guys do come there like every day or every other day, but
Wow.
people like that. And yeah, and by the way, people don't forget that I always tell everybody, people there sometimes do get banned. Even regulars get banned. Oh, you get banned for a little bit for sure. It has happened, by the way, bro. Like this guy, I'm gonna call him. I'll call him Montgomery. It's a code name, Montgomery. Real cool guy, a friend of mine. Kind of, we're kind of cool for a while. We just again OG. I met up with him there. It's OG Black Bull, right? He somehow got banned for some reason. I don't know why he did, but he got banned out of nowhere. I was like, well, how did he get banned? He's always here. But at one time, he told the girl something kind of funny. He'll say sometimes the wrong thing, and girls looking like he's crazy. And apparently something crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like he was a little too drunk and he couldn't leave, or he wouldn't leave. And they're like, you know what, you're banned for like 6 months. But he was there a lot. Me and him became cool. We'll always shake hands and I'll say hi to him to the point where I wouldn't even pat him down. I'm like, and you network and you try to find out what they do. I found out he had like a little business he was doing and all that. And again, I added him on LinkedIn, but I don't got his Facebook though. I never really asked him. I think he has something for his business. Some of his guys have a business account for their Facebook, and that's what they do. You know what I mean? Shit like that. But he was an eye guy. Again, I don't know what he did. I don't get involved in gossip or talk about he did this and that. Just some BS. But I mean, I've seen guys come a lot there, do real weird and really get banned. Because they're just too. They're talking about energy, this and that, but they're a little too weird. They come, they look like creepos. They stalk the girls. They say too much. They want to do too much. They get out of hand, out of control. They're with the girls. They get a little rough like that or weird. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes you be like that, and you gotta connect with the right people too. You gotta know who you talk to and kind of get to know a little bit as far as a person. So, say for me, also personality is part of the formulas too, to get to know. Like, all right, it looks like a cool person, okay, chill, or okay, got what he got, he is what he is, but I think there's no network with him. It's not necessarily at that point. I'm like, all right, we're probably not going to be necessarily friends, but I'm gonna be cool, but a certain distance. People like that, you just kind of keep them at a distance, like we call them pawns, But I'm jumping too much info here, too much sauce here, too many gems. I'm jumping a lot of gems, but that's ID though, So, and then people that you might you connect with and you vibe a little different than others. You might think, okay, he's more like the type of dude I could probably hang out with on some, chill, cool type time. You just go out and we cool. You're my mans, or we're friends. Like, I'm telling you, bro, if you ever came by there, I could introduce you to some of these guys. Some of these guys, many friends that are real cool. Like, they're chill, They're like just more about, they come there and then they'll put you on. And then they really they're very intellectual guys too, because it's all about, at the end of the day, an intellectual conversation between two dudes that understand and both have like quality, again, we call alpha males, but we don't say high value, high quality males, because, I don't want to use that word too much. It's been overused and I use it for certain instances, but yeah, even to alphas, for example, when they talk, it's understanding. There's to be no ego, no weird shit. Oh, you got something out in the store. Oh, I'm with this company, some pharmaceuticals, and I work for some company through the, to the government and shit like that. Oh, cool, Now that's your plug. Like, not only people, sometimes people like will use somebody as a stepping stone, but still keep it cool with them, but just know the still cool. There is a relationship, but it's just what it is. They might help you with something, might help you with something. It's not like you use them to get what you don't get, and act like you don't know them. When you do that, that's when you're being really a phony or a user. Would you agree with that, right?
Yeah. When you have an intention behind it, but you don't want to trade value.
For not value, nothing at all. You just kind of like, act like you know him, but only to kind of get what you want. There's no genuine like genuine, the good feel, that I want you to win. I genuinely want you to win, to succeed. I have some kind of respect or love or admiration for you. If there's nothing of that, it's just a phony shit. It's just people think they're your friends and come to your circle because they want to get your resources, and that's an important thing, bro. It's actually part of this whole podcast we're doing right now on this topic, the resources. You know that I mean, sometimes you have them, sometimes the people you might meet have them too. I'm not saying go out there only seek to that because I mean you can have your own resources, make your own. But I mean, when you're friends and you've known them for many years and you have all resources and you're cool like that, you automatically got a friend that and you have friends and also like trade, of course, work together, and other friends, and then with this guy, you can also meet other people, but at the end of the day, you're still giving back, and it's all love, it's all good.
Exactly.
That mindset is always it's all about progressing, improving, making money, figuring a few things out, bro. So at the end of the day, I mean, you may not become part of like that crew in a circle like that tight, but it's still again, which is it falls back to what we talked about earlier, the concept of different ways, different branches and reaches. There's the people that are assertive, people that are close to bring you close in, your real close friends from back in the days you work with, your dogs, people you kind of like you're cool with for business, and you gotta collaborate a lot, but you're not like exactly super tight or cool. It just happens sometimes they're cool. Like me, you're pretty cool and pretty tight, and we'll do this. But I mean, if it wasn't for this, we'll probably just be like more like cool, and we'll do other stuff else probably. It just happens to be a common thing, and that's how it is. Honestly, it's not sometimes these things work. Is the networking, exchange information, the partnership. So honestly, bro, they say it should only be one partner, and a lot of times the whole thing with partnerships and all that, sometimes it does go sour because it doesn't work out, and sometimes usually it's one blames the other a lot of times, but it'd be that way too.
Yeah, you got to be very careful of who you go into business with, because you know what, business can ruin friendships.
Yes, and that's also a very good point, which is again why sometimes your networking, people you network with, the network people and all that, they don't necessarily your friends. Sometimes you're not in business. Again, you're just networking to see if you can get somewhere. Networking brings to close business and associations. That's not confused. ABC is not BC.
Let me break this down for you. Just because they could be really good friends, but they might just not have a business mind. There's nothing wrong with that.
Bingo. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Just be very careful.
Be careful who you become in partnership with in business, and if you start an LLC and all that. I'm in business with guys from a club now, and we're cool with them, but I'm only part of their circle because by default, and they're doing something, working with different clubs in the city, like taking care of the bathrooms and the hallways and all that.
Speaking of LLCs, I want to bring someone on at some point that can talk about the tax advantages of an LLC versus an S corp. He actually works as a tax accountant, and he actually knows all this stuff.
Nice.
It could be beneficial for any of you young bucks out there. Anybody around our age who are realistically trying to start a business. The tax advantages is important, and it's good to bring professionals on to understand those things. Also, guys, we have not forgotten about the real estate investing side of it. We have a couple people. I know a great deal of people who are on the real estate.
Me too. Actually, my cousin does this stuff. He does even stand-up comedy now. But both of us know at least 4 people. Like both of us, between the both of us.
But there's a couple people that I really want to bring on, Bum, because I really like their approach to it. I like how they kind of approach it, and they're pretty good speakers as well. People that could kind of come on here and really, really educate others. And I'm always interested to learn because, I'm learning slowly. But having people around me to understand it, it's a big thing.
Facts, bro. Facts. Yeah, man. Exactly. Yeah, let me see. 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll probably head out in the next 4 minutes, something like that. 4 or 5 minutes the most. There's there's one thing I do want to cover before we actually kind of take the cut now. Go to the end credits and end the show. So real quick, just 5 things to do, or five ways to network, right? So, and then again, you might agree with some of this stuff. Some of the stuff you probably have. These are here. So obviously, need new people or positions where you need new people, and then from there you introduce yourself and talk to them and everything else. That's one. Attend events, and that could be any event from an expo to a small event to somewhere to support a friend to a grand opening. Go to meetup and stop appointments with. What I mean by that is a meetup is when you know somebody and the first time you might meet up with them, do a little meetup where you try to connect with them. Okay, let's go together and in person and further discuss this or kind of work on a plan or network more or discuss a few things. And it comes after you already met the person. You can't just be somebody you meet you connect online, you never met them once, because you got to break those barriers. So we call it breaking the ice in so many words, in layman's and in other terms, or terminology in the professional field. You already know this stuff anyway. Display friendly attitude and people's skills. That's obviously it's a pretty no-brainer. It's kind of you just talk to the people that you might meet there and display, good character. You talk to them. You might be a good judge of character. Somebody it seems like they've got a lot going on. Other conversation, get the card and exchange information. That's cool. Other one is follow up after exchange information. So after you get the card and the email, write them an email and try to regularly keep up with them. And again, this is the easiest time, in human history to do this. I mean, with so much information and so many platforms at our disposal in our hand. I mean, you could do like you could probably email them. You can send a screenshot of your card. You could call them. You can DM them. They can hit you via email, via everything. I mean, even of course, sometimes when you do like a show or a big thing and you're monetized, people can obviously hit you up with an email and donate. That's fine. Everybody's getting donations these days. There's so many various stuff you can do, Steve, and that's the thing. So that's why the grind never stops in this whole the YouTube world and people that got like business and all that. Everybody's thriving some kind of way or slowly. People are thriving more than ever, even though the economy might not be as good anymore and the world is in a different place. It's more poverty in a way, but there's also people are thriving because information and technology is more ways to make money in jobs. I mean, people making good money, they can help others and the poor, and it shouldn't be people really being poor, but it's obviously always something going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just fucked up my pen. There we go. I fixed it. So yeah. So I think I covered all 5 of them. That's basically the ones. Are you do you have anything that's got to add to that, or that was pretty much like?
I thought they were all really, really good points, man. Some of them kind of assimilated with what I kind of said at the beginning, but then some of them were a little different, man. But I like that. It was a nice little mix there. It's important. It's kind of like the way you said the world is just kind of changing. And I actually just wanted to pull apart real quick. I got a little thing for you guys. I just want to kind of show you what a dot card kind of looks like. You don't have to see the name of it, but the back of it ultimately nice. QR code. You see what I'm saying? It's a little QR code. Yeah. Somebody, they scan it, they tap it. Plain and simple, it's an electronic business card. And it's beneficial for building connections.
Interesting. Very good stuff. Yeah, man. Definitely got to promote your stuff for the moment. And the link you sent me, the link you sent me for the, I think it's like for the credit thing, so you can start out soon. I actually got to do it. I've definitely done it, but I've just been so busy with everything, man. I'm just basically, I've done a lot of stuff from the ground up. And so, I mean, sometimes it's better to work quietly and show them and brag your results just because, they're out there, not because you don't really brag them. When you do too much bragging before the results done, there's always things that come up. You can stop your own blessings. So don't get in your own way, basically, Don't let your actions get in your way, or you're doing too much, too much chase, too much cloud. Work professionally, silently, network, work hard, meet people, go to events, learn things, utilize everything from Skillshare to Indeed to different emails, to different things. Have a productive day. I like productive days. Those days are cool. And then I just go out for a walk or go out at night a little, go hang out a little, or just chill home, relax. I'm simple like that. I don't gotta do too much, but only certain days I want to go out and really get lit or wild out, have a good time, or go explore. I'm kind of like a let's go around the corner, go to some, spot around here type of dude and chill. Go to the park a little, go play some ball, play some soccer, go to the gym, hit the bag.
All good things,
do big things, man. We're getting some equipment. I'm getting some of my MMA equipment up, and I'm getting some of my pocket equipment up. So I need more equipment, There's this pair of gloves with a nice dragon on it, like here. With a nice 16-ounce box gloves, but I think they're used for Muay Thai too. I want to get them. They look pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. Awesome, man. A little bit of equipment upgraded, man. I like it.
Definitely could have a few things, did some shopping the other day too, So I've been having a pretty productive few days, It's been a pretty good, couple of days, honestly, bro. So you told me you have a pretty decent day too, I know you have stuff going on, right? Couple of dates as well.
Things over the weekend, yeah, like just meeting up with friends and celebrating. Our one friend is actually home, right? Our friend is home over the weekend. Things like that. So I'm gonna link up with him, get with him and just link up with old friends. Maybe do a little bit of car shopping. We'll see. As well.
Doesn't hurt, bro. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I might take it easy weekend too. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I might take it pretty easy.
Sounds good, man. Yeah. I think this is actually kind of a good place to wrap up. If you don't really have anything else, I just want to make some small announcements that obviously still tweaking up the website, still working on it. It's been a busy week, but still finding time to carve out some things. There are some upgrades on there, so if you guys want to check it out, click the link tree below. I'm still making some tweaks though, nowhere near finished on kind of what I want to do with it. I also want to make some upgrades to the merch store because I really haven't touched that realistically on a transparent level in about a year. So I want to kind of tweak that up. I also want to make some changes to the intro. Hopefully we can get a guest back on here next week and we can have a fresh new intro. George, I actually talked to you over the weekend about that. Maybe we can, find some time to maybe meet at some point. We can work on the intro together, maybe work on the website. And guys, continue to stay tuned for about 2 weeks from now. We're going to have a giveaway kind of coming up. It's going to be like the very end of June, very beginning of July. It's going to be a summer giveaway. So we'll probably have like some stuff like related to the summer to give away to you guys, maybe gift cards again, but also maybe some merch as well. We'd love to show our appreciation and support for every single one of you that watch and, have supported for years. Some of you have been here for the ride since September of 2020. Some of you came last year in 2021. Others have just joined this year. I know some people that have joined just within like the last couple of weeks and, within the last week. No matter what, you're all have an even chance to win. But we always appreciate the support no matter what. But the contests are always fun. We haven't had a giveaway since Christmas time where we gave away a bunch of gift cards. I think it was like $50 to $100 worth of gift cards we gave you guys through contest. So we will be up there with that too. But guys, as we kind of move through the summer, we just want to continue to improve this podcast and dedicate more time to it. The more you guys support, the more, it'll be worth our time to, do things here. So guys, continue to watch, continue to support. If you see if you know other people that you think could benefit from, any of the content on this podcast, tell them, share our content, spread the word, because that's what keeps us kind of doing this, right? We want to hit as many people as we possibly can here. So guys, that makes it all the worthwhile here at the podcast.
We're doing, big things, right. It's all for you guys at the end of the day, and it's like we'd like to, entertain other people watching, and we're trying to bring the best content. And those that do subscribe, we appreciate it. So we're trying to get our viewers and subscribers up a little. So we definitely appreciate it. And again, share and subscribe and comment. There's always links, below. We're trying to always, encourage you guys to join the conversation or bring you guys in. We got get some more guests here, but we have been working some stuff, behind the scenes, and we're going to definitely have a few guests come in. So that should be good as well.
Exactly. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the giveaways, excited for the the upgrades on the tech side. I'm excited for the content that we're going to be dropping. We're going to be dropping some fire over like the next month. It's going to be exciting. I got
some good stuff. It's been like a rough few weeks, and we took a week off. But I mean, we're kind of just kind of getting back. This is like the second episode since we've been back, so swinging back in the groove of things, guys. And we'll see you guys again soon. So definitely got some fire stuff coming up. A couple of good episodes and some guests lined up, and we actually got a nice topic coming up next week as well. So
yeah, exactly. So so guys, I think with that, we're gonna wrap it up right here. I don't have anything else, but guys, enjoy your weekend. I think the weather's gonna actually be really nice. It's gonna be a nice shift from last weekend. So guys, if you're in the Philadelphia area, New Jersey, tri-state area, enjoy the weather, enjoy yourself, guys. I'm gonna wrap up there, but guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back next week with episode 87. George, I want to thank you for taking the time to hop on here with me tonight. And
same here, bro. Good to have you again. It was a good episode, and good to kind of come back. And we're getting gear, guys. 87 coming up, or 3 from 90 after this. So
exactly, guys. It's 2022. Be true and be you, and focus on you, and others will too.
Yes, sir.
Being said,
have a good weekend.
Have a great night, great weekend. I'll talk to you guys throughout the week. Peace.